friends, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Cancer May 2025 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. I'm calling the theme of this time for Cancer, Into the Spotlight, Ready or Not. And we'll talk about the ways that may manifest, and also give you a little sneak peek into Jupiter going into your sign, which is happening imminently and will be there for a year. This is for you if Cancer is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Cancer placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture for very late degree Cancer friends. So birthdays like July 15th through the rest of the sign, or Cancer degrees 23 degrees through the rest of the sign. I suggest you additionally listen to my Leo report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. So there are several very important things about the general astrology that I need to mention right off the bat because you will love it all. The first very important thing to note is that we are out of the biggest heat of eclipse season. March and April may have been very intense with the wrap up of the Aries Libra eclipse cycle, the second chapter of the Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle, lots of news, information, changes coming in. And if you yourself weren't going through something, you may notice that a lot of people around you were like, what's going on? Or you may have been going through things and also holding space as other people in your life are having those changes as well. So you can still have some news come in from the eclipses, things carrying along their continuum here in May, but the pressure is coming off from that energy. It's starting to lighten and you're starting to get more clarity as to where and how and when the changes that are impending are going to manifest. The next really important, very exciting thing to know is that we have 5 times the amount of sweet aspects this month compared to salty ones. A salty aspect is what I call when the planets are not getting along. A sweet aspect is when they are. So we have so many sweet kisses, astro kisses as I like to call them, this month. So throughout the month, you'll be having these beautiful possibilities that come in from these starry alignments, and just a couple of little troublemakers and a couple of ones that can go either way. I will give you some dates throughout this report, but if you want more dates and you want my complete list of the sweet and salty dates, as well as my favorite ones, the ones to be most awareful and careful of, and the ones that can go either way, then go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in there, get the welcome letter, click on the archive, and put in May 2025 astrology. Okay, so the last very important general transit thing to know before we can move forward into some Cancer specific things is that finally, after 9 months of waiting, it's like the gestation period for a baby over here, waiting for the tides to start going out. If you follow my work, then you know my analogy of the astrological tides. When the tides are coming in, it's very difficult to get things out far and wide because you're on the beach and everything you put out there is coming back to you. So that is wonderful for a lot of things. Promos, short-term things that you're intending to do just for a little while, bridge agreements, just things that are intended to be short-term, things where you're experimenting. That's perfect because you put it out and it comes right back and you see how it's going and it's short-term. But if you're trying to do something long-term of monumental consequence, of, something that you want to be around for a long time, trying to push those out when the tides are coming in may have proven to be very frustrating over the last 9 months. But now, as of May 17th, all of the tides have officially shifted and they're going out. That is the magic date when Venus retrograde. Venus was retrograde from March 1st into April 12th. But we had from the end of January where the pre-shadow period built up. And now we have until May 17th for the post-shadow period for Venus to regain her strength. So while the first half of May is very usable for very many things, and you may still see some of those smoking hot Venus retrograde deals coming in to buy things at a very good value, if you want to take advantage of the most forward-moving energy after the 17th and the whole month of June will be great for that. Your big moves, your big agreements, your big commitments, your big investments, your engagements, your weddings. Now, just to be clear, many of you will be getting married in the first part of May. Don't worry about that. The energy is very clear from Venus. It's just a slight little hangover. So I don't want you to worry about that. If you're trying to make something happen or have a launch, You may want to align it with the end of May. It will have even more forward movement, but the whole month is full of plenty of forward movement. All of the planets are moving forward, except Pluto will turn and start to go retrograde. And Pluto's retrograde 6 months of the year. So that's not a big surprise, or it doesn't really detract from this forward moving energy at all. Not only will you be getting this forward moving energy from the tides going out and all the outer planets and inner planets moving direct, you'll also have all of this Aries energy, which is bringing momentum and, inspiration and motivation and oomph and get up and go. So besides all of that fire bringing you momentum and forward movement, also we have Mars in Leo, and that's moving through your financial sector. So you'll find yourself, as I always like to say, where Mars goes, obsession flows. So you will see yourself very focused on your creative efforts, very focused on things involving children, true love, your bucket list, your hobbies, and then you'll also see you become very interested in getting things situated in your financial sector. And so I see all of this fire energy as being the fire underneath your watery pot. All right, and things will be bubbling up and manifesting, and people may be agitating you or inspiring you, but whatever it is that you need to go to the next step, to make your bold moves, to make your big decisions, that's going to be what happens to add the impetus to your watery pot to make those decisions and make the most of this very open set of stars for changing your life. Now, on that topic, I'm just going to mention briefly, we will go over this more over the next year, but next month, Jupiter is going to move into Cancer, your sign, and spend a year there. And that's going to be a very big deal. So I often see 3 months before there's a change in sign for Jupiter that things start brewing. So you may notice that you're starting to get more into your health. You're starting to get more into your wellness. You're starting to focus more on your body. You're starting to ask bigger questions about who you are and who you can be. And March, April, May, before it actually turns, it's also doing its work in that house, besides just the place where it is, which has been spending the last year focused on developing your intuition and expanding your connection with the lesser seen realms and healing from the psychological level out. Okay, so I want to go through a checklist of this stellium, or 3 or more planets, which is what a stellium is, accentuating your 10th house of work and career and your place out in the world and your place in the spotlight, which is my title for you, Into the Spotlight, Ready or Not. So while Aries energy is igniting your 10th house, it's time to step into leadership. It's time to take bold risks in your career and claim your place in the spotlight, ready or not. This is not a time for playing it completely safe when in your passion projects or in your work world. Energy is demanding, Aries is demanding energy from you to make decisions, to have ambition, to have courage. So your checklist, time to take charge of your career. No more playing small. This is the time to claim authority in your field and claim being known for what you know. This is also a great time for making a bold career move. A new job, a promotion, a business launch, a personal brand upgrade. Now is definitely the time to act. Also on your list is to stop overthinking and just go for it. Aries will reward decisive action. And if it's exciting you, then trust your instincts. Now, while the first half of May will still have a little bit of those Venus goggles on where you might not be seeing completely clearly, as the month progresses, you should have your clarity more defined and strengthened. This is also a great time, especially in the latter half of the month, to take financial risk or business risk that could pay off big. Aries wants this bold and strategic, commitment here. It's really asking you to throw yourself completely in. So trust your ambition. You may be stepping into your highest expression in this lifetime, and that ambition that you have is spirit whispering to you about what you're supposed to be doing. Now, let me also be clear. The 10th house is very much about career and work and employment. But it is also generally just your place outside of your home. Even if you work in your home, it's like your place where you're known to the world, your community of work people, the people you affect, the people you work with. And this can be manifesting with a passion project, with something like if you're in a club or a group, because your networking area is also lifted up. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're someone that doesn't need to work or are retired, this is still your spotlight chance. This is still a time for you to be known for what it is that you're doing and what it is you're contributing or what you've contributed throughout your lifetime. Okay, so on your checklist, it could be a time to assert yourself in professional conversations, to let people know what it is that you do, whether you're negotiating a raise or speaking up in meetings or owning your expertise or requesting to be given more responsibility or a special job. Now could really be the time. Also on your checklist is embracing the challenges as a path to success, because we have to remember that for Cancer, well, really, for everybody, the 10th house makes a square with your ascendant, or the first house cusp. So we're getting defined and redefined in our place out in the world. By figuring out who we are inside, we're able to project that outside. But specifically with these Aries placements, they make a square to Cancer. So this thing that's going on with work is a birthing process. It may have to push you out of your comfort zone in order to do what you need to do. Your job is to show up and be seen. No more hiding. Whether it's networking, which, like I said, comes in strongly through the 11th house as well, interviews, social media presence. It's really an amazing time to put yourself out there. And you may find, as I mentioned before, that the spotlight finds you, even if you're not trying. On your checklist as well is to cut ties with anything that holds you back. If you find that there's a person or a situation or a job that's really interfering with your happiness and your joy and your vitality and your health and your relationships, then it might be time to let it go. The fears and the habits that limit what you're trying to do, it could be time to kick all of that. All right. So very, very much focused on your mark on the world and what you are doing and how you're doing it. Now, at the same time, I've got a little checklist for you with the energies of Taurus, because Venus will get there, Mercury will get there, the sun's already there, Hygeia is there. Those are all shorter term movements. Uranus is there long term, although Uranus will change signs as well in July, which is crazy because this year, between the end of last year and early of 2026, all of the outer planets will be changing signs. So it's just really crazy. Very, very much change, new ways of doing things. But in any case, this Taurus energy really brings in stability and, this energy of long-term success and building. So this is a story for Cancer of building long-term success through community. So the Taurus stellium is activating this 11th house, and it's time to solidify your dreams, because the 11th house not only relates to your place in the community, your place within a group, it also relates to your big dreams, not the ones you have at night. That's the 12th house. But like the things that you might not even dare speak, they're so big. If you could do anything and had a genie to help you manifest your best goals, what would they be? That's this 11th house, and it's full right now. So on your checklist is to set these long-term goals and to stick to them. Taurus is asking you for patience. It's asking for persistence. It's asking you what you want to build over time. And part of the way you're going to build this is through strengthening your network. Quality over quantity in this case. So the right connections are going to help you grow, and your investments in relationships from the past and the ones that you're starting now are going to be what adds real value to enrich your life. Something else I have on your checklist is to collaborate with like-minded people, because that is this 11th house. This is the people speaking your language, whether it's a hobby or whether it's a passion project or whether it's a work-related thing, networking. This is the time to have your success come through alliances and group projects or mentorships, or you being a mentor. Something else that you may see with the combination of Taurus and the 11th house is to monetize your social impact. Taurus can relate to your individual finances. I already told you that you've got that lit up from Mars being in your second house. But Taurus moving through your 11th house can also really help you to monetize your social impact. Taurus wants these tangible results. And you can be asking the question, how can your influence or your friendships or your groups support your financial growth? So as I said before, this is really about bigger vision. So Taurus wants clarity on that bigger vision. It wants to build something lasting, to commit, make you commit to these ultimate dreams, the things that are several steps beyond what you might be working with. Now, something I just want to mention here, something that I have seen to be very successful for myself, and I've heard many other people who work with trying to create and take an active involvement in your life, is this idea of setting outrageous goals. Margaret Lynch talks about this. She's someone who I've really love her work. So when you set an outrageous goal, you might not reach that outrageous goal, but the further you set a goal, you may wind up going further than you would have if you didn't set an outrageous goal. So you may consider that. And at the same time, we want there to be a believability. If you can set it out beyond what you think you can achieve, but yet what still may be possible, then you've got your subconscious mind on board saying, maybe I could do it, right? And then you have yourself being willing to stretch out further. So, Taurus can help you to figure out what steps you need to take to do that. Okay, something else on the checklist here has to do with using your voice. Taurus can very much relate to your actual voice, public speaking, singing, or something less literal, like your voice through writing or your voice through making things with your hands. Taurus very much rules making things with your hands. And that may be your form of expression. But whatever it is, the message now is that your message matters, and seeing what ways you can take those messages out into the world. All right, on your checklist, a couple more things I just want to point out really has to do with aligning with groups that reflect your values, and your values may be changing after this deep retrograde cycle that we've had. You may have evaluated a lot of things, tried a lot of things on, experimented with things. So now you're in a better position, whether it's professional or social or spiritual, to surround yourself with the people who support your evolution and the people who you think are open to you helping them with their evolution, because nothing is more frustrating than you knowing something that would help somebody and them not being receptive to it. So, this is a time to kind of cut your losses and see where you want to invest your very precious time. Okay, so this is a time to be looking at the bigger picture. See where you're headed, your dreams, your social contributions are expanding at this time, asking how you can make a lasting impact, asking what steps you need to take to have long-term goals in process. This is a time to say no to the fleeting distractions and yes to the long-term gains, and that Taurus energy will reward this consistent effort to focus on what truly matters. Now, as all of that's happening, remember that these Aries energies are very short-term and impulsive. So you've got the combination of, building motivation combined with the long-term goals. So you really have the best of both worlds at this time. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few dates. Full moon, 22 degrees of Scorpio, and the days around May 12th. This can bring fullness, completion, fruition, possibly drama to close relationships or financial relationships. Specifically for Cancer people, you may see something noteworthy happen in your workspace or something else that you do every day. Some drama, some fruition, some important relationship, being illuminated. This can also be something having to do with health, information coming out there, pets, animals. So those are the days around the 12th. Around the 18th, and actually, what I'm about to tell you is true for all of April, all of May, and all of June, with May being the strongest effects and the official connection happening on the 18th, where Jupiter, the great expander, is in this beautiful angle of possibilities with Chiron. So that means that making lemonade out of old lemons, or old hurts, or old challenges, things that were rough for you in the past, those can come back around and be the seed of your expansion. Okay, so just look out for the ways that something that's been difficult for you before is now turning into something that's a major plus, because, that's what's happening. And if you have to do something important, aligning with the dates around the 18th will have all the power of that transit locked into the whole lifetime of the project or whatever you do around that time. And then in the days around May 26th, you've got the 6-degree Gemini new moon. You may find yourself traveling, getting a car, getting a device, something having to do with mobility or communication, publishing something, writing, speaking, some important interactions, communications happening at that time. If you like the dates, make sure you go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in there, get the welcome letter, click on the archive link, and put in May 2025 astrology to get my monthly written star report with the sweet and salty dates. I put a lot into this report. And I tell you my favorite dates of the month. So if you want to do important things, you can align them. I have the full list of the sweet and salty dates, which, like I said, there are 5 times more sweet aspects this month than salty ones. I also have a detailed write-up of the ones that could go either way and some things that you can expect from those and how to make lemonade and how to protect yourself from the negative potentials. And it's very, very detailed. And plus you get all this other stuff, my Eclipse resource page, my 28-day virtual coaching program. I'm always looking for ways to give that community, my email community, free stuff. I give a lot of free stuff to the public, but if you are invested in my free VIP community, I want to give you even more stuff. So you can check that out at anniehelpsyou.com. We have a lot of outer planets changing. Jupiter, Uranus will be happening. Neptune, Pluto recently changed signs. And then, early 2026, Saturn will change signs. If you want to know more about what the heck that's all about, plus have personalized reports for your chart, including dates of all of these outer planet transits through your houses, then go to anniebclarity.com, Annie, the letter B, clarity.com, and see my personalized video reports there. And if you want to learn astrology and you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn and you want a good system that will set you up for success doing whatever you want to do in astrology, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I hope you have a wonderful month and I'll see you next month. Bye.